Deep beneath the jagged sandstone ridgelines of Utah's Uinta Basin lies a geological enigma that has defied conventional explanation for generations. Stretching across 512 acres of arid high desert, Skinwalker Ranch has long served as ground zero for an extraordinary range of reported phenomena, from unidentified aerial craft to localized electromagnetic disruptions. Yet, while researchers have spent decades searching the skies above the property, a growing body of empirical data suggests that the true epicenter of this mystery is not located in the atmosphere. It is anchored hundreds of feet below the Earth, embedded directly within the massive rock face known as the Mesa. For years, rumors persisted among local ranching communities and independent investigators that a hidden access tunnel was sealed within the Mesa during the mid-20th century. Historical land office records and early aerial photographs revealed strange structural anomalies along the base of the bluff, abrupt rock slides that appeared inconsistent with natural erosion, patterns suggesting an intentional collapse designed to conceal a subterranean entrance. Despite these accounts, verifying the existence of a buried void remained technically impossible without heavy industrial excavation. That dynamic fundamentally changed when a multidisciplinary team of geophysicists, electrical engineers, and drill specialists deployed advanced subsurface imaging tools to probe the interior of the Mesa. Initial investigations relied on multi-spectrum ground-penetrating radar, seismic reflection mapping, and cosmic ray muon tomography. The resulting data models produced a striking revelation. Rather than revealing solid, continuous sandstone bedrock, the tomographic scans detected a massive, low-density void extending horizontally through the core of the ridge. Running parallel to this subterranean cavity was a dense, highly reflective structural anomaly that registered electromagnetic signatures completely inconsistent with surrounding sedimentary stone. According to diagnostic readings, the subterranean space possessed a uniform geometric boundary, a feature almost never observed in natural cavern formations. To verify these remote sensing models, the research team initiated a targeted horizontal exploratory drilling campaign at the base of the Mesa. Using specialized diamond-tipped drill bits capable of penetrating dense rock, operators advanced the bore line step by step into the face of the bluff. For the first 40 feet, the core samples yielded standard terrestrial sandstone. But as the drill bit reached the precise depth indicated by the radar scans, technicians encountered an unexpected physical barrier. The rotary torque on the drilling rig surged instantly, and the drill bit ground to a sudden halt against an extremely hard, impenetrable material. When core extraction tools pulled samples from the contact point, analysts discovered fragments of a dark metallic composite material mixed with vitrified silica. Spectrometric testing of the recovered debris yielded anomalous results. The material contained an engineered alloy composed of high-purity titanium, nickel, and trace elements arranged in a microscopic lattice structure. Geologists on site noted that such a metallic compound does not form naturally in sedimentary rock environments. The presence of manufactured materials deep within the mesa raised an immediate critical question. Was this metallic barrier part of a buried man-made structure, or did it represent something far more anomalous? As field technicians prepared to expand the borehole to insert high-definition optical cameras, monitoring equipment inside the field operations trailer began logging severe electronic interference. High-frequency radio spectrum analyzers registered a localized broadcast spiking at exactly 1.6 GHz, a specific frequency previously documented during anomalous aerial events across the ranch. Concurrently, magnetometer arrays deployed along the Mesa baseline recorded a sudden, intense spike in the localized magnetic field, jumping from a normal background level of 0.05 Tesla to over 1.2 Tesla within seconds. The sudden convergence of physical obstacles, manufactured metallic alloys, and active electromagnetic emissions confirmed that the void inside the Mesa was not an empty geological pocket. The team was not merely drilling into stone, they were interacting with a sealed, highly energetic subterranean environment. Determined to establish visual contact inside the anomaly, engineers deployed a ruggedized, fiber optic crawler unit equipped with thermal imaging cameras and LiDAR distance scanners down the narrow access shaft. As the crawler edged past the crushed sandstone barrier and entered the perimeter of the void, its high-intensity LED lights illuminated a sight that stunned the control room. The camera feed revealed a smoothed, perfectly cylindrical corridor stretching deep into the mountain, a long sealed access tunnel whose walls appeared to have been artificially fused into a glass-like sheen. But as the vehicle advanced further into the darkness, the thermal camera logged a rapid, inexplicable drop in ambient temperature, plunging from 60 degrees Fahrenheit down to below freezing in a matter of feet. At the far end of the vitrified corridor, partially obscured by fine dust and fallen rock debris, stood a massive, sealed metallic bulkhead. The high-definition camera feed from the crawler unit focused squarely on the dark bulkhead sealing the end of the vitrified passage. Illuminated by the vehicle's multi-spectrum light array, the barrier displayed an extraordinary level of structural integrity. Measuring approximately 8 feet in height, the metallic portal fits seamlessly into the surrounding glass-like rock face without visible mortar, industrial bolts, or structural support beams. The surface was remarkably pristine, devoid of the heavy iron oxide, surface rust, or mineral scaling typically found on metallic structures exposed to underground moisture over extended periods. To gather immediate physical data on the barrier's composition, operators activated the crawler's articulated robotic arm, extending a high-frequency ultrasonic thickness probe against the center of the bulkhead. Standard ultrasonic testing relies on sending high-frequency sound waves through a material and measuring the echo delay as the wave bounces off the back wall. However, when the probe made direct contact with the matte gray surface, the diagnostic software failed to process a return signal. The acoustic energy sent into the portal was completely absorbed, registering a 0% reflection profile that effectively rendered the material acoustically invisible to standard diagnostic tools. As the physical testing proceeded inside the tunnel, an unexpected chain reaction began manifesting across the surface of Skinwalker Ranch. In the field operations module, power management systems experienced sudden voltage drops, accompanied by rapid battery drain across portable telemetry equipment. Spectrum analyzers logged a sharp escalation in the baseline 1.6 GHz signal, which expanded from a narrow band into a high-density, broad-spectrum broadcast spanning from 1.2 to 2.4 GHz. Field personnel stationed along the top plateau of the Mesa reported feeling a subtle, continuous thrumming vibration beneath their feet, accompanied by an unexplained sensation of atmospheric pressure. Inside the subterranean corridor, environmental sensors mounted on the crawler recorded an intense, localized thermal anomaly. Over a span of less than 60 seconds, the ambient temperature immediately surrounding the metallic barrier plunged from 32 degrees Fahrenheit down to minus 14 degrees Fahrenheit. This extreme thermal drop occurred without any detectable release of compressed gas or chemical refrigerants. Atmospheric moisture introduced into the tunnel through the exploratory borehole rapidly condensed and froze, covering the crawler's optical lenses and the surrounding vitrified walls in a thick layer of frost. Subterranean. Sensor. Bulkhead. Reflectivity 0% ultrasonic return. Total absorption. Ambient thermal shift F32 Fahrenheit to 14 Fahrenheit in 58 seconds. Plus radio frequency shift 1.6 GHz narrowband, 1.2 2.4 GHz broadband, plus Praman plus Fenfreman density, spike to 2.1 Tesla at barrier surface, plus Fafrenman plus, determined to collect a physical sample before the freezing temperatures disabled the vehicle's mechanical actuators. Operators engaged a micro-diamond rotary saw mounted on the crawler's auxiliary tool arm. The saw blade was brought into contact with the lower edge of the bulkhead to extract a microscopic material fragment. The instant the spinning diamond bit touched the alloy surface, a brilliant blue electrical arc discharged from the barrier, striking the tool assembly. The high-voltage static discharge traveled backward along the crawler's internal wiring harness, overloading its onboard surge protectors and instantly severing the fiber optic telemetry stream. The live video monitors inside the control trailer flickered and went black. Simultaneously, surface-level magnetometers logged a massive magnetic field surge that peaked at 2.1 Tesla right along the horizontal drill vector. Mechanical contact initiated. V high voltage, blue static arc discharges. V onboard electronics blown, video feed lost. Magnetometer spikes to 2.1 Tesla. The violent electrical feedback and dramatic energy shifts demonstrated that the subterranean barrier was not a static, inert plug. It functioned as an active energy-dense interface capable of responding dynamically to physical or mechanical intrusion. The sudden failure of the primary exploration crawler forced the scientific team to pause direct mechanical operations and reevaluate the risk profile of the site. To understand why an active, energy-emitting structure existed inside the mesa, researchers turned their attention to archival records and military contractor histories in the Uinta Basin, seeking evidence of past excavation attempts that might explain the origin of this deep earth installation. With direct visual contact temporarily severed following the electrical blowout of the exploration crawler, the research team pivoted toward historical analysis to contextualize the discovery. Archival investigators systematically reviewed declassified federal land office records, mining permits, and military logistics logs from the Uinta Basin spanning the mid-20th century. What they uncovered suggested that the modern research team was not the first organized group to encounter the subterranean structure inside the mesa. Historical documentation indicates that during the early 1960s, under the operational umbrella of the United States Atomic Energy Commission, specialized engineering contractors conducted extensive geological surveys across eastern Utah. Officially categorized as routine searches for industrial uranium deposits, several of these operations involved heavy excavation equipment and deep-hole directional drilling rigs. According to unclassified logistics manifests, a specialized subsurface mining unit affiliated with a major defense contractor was dispatched to the northern perimeter of Skinwalker Ranch in late 1962. Plus, historic salvation chronology. Plus, target era. Autumn 1962, Spring 1963. Plus, sponsoring agency U.S. Atomic Energy Commission, AEC, plus official cover, subsurface mineral and uranium mapping. Plus, documented event, unexplained equipment failure and site sealing. Plus, private journals kept by local residents during that period describe heavy flatbed trucks hauling industrial drilling gear under military escort along rural access roads leading toward the mesa. Operations ran continuously around the clock for nearly 3 months. Then, in the spring of 1963, the project came to an abrupt, unannounced halt. Government records indicate that the contracting team abandoned their machinery, backfilled the primary access trenches with hundreds of tons of crushed sandstone, and classified all field logs under national security exemptions. To determine whether the 1962 military operation was responsible for building the bulkhead or if they had merely attempted to breach it, modern technicians deployed a secondary, heavily shielded rover down the horizontal drill shaft. This reinforced unit was fitted with redundant electromagnetic isolation barriers, multi-angle LiDAR scanners, and short-range ground-penetrating radar. As the secondary rover approached the end of the vitrified corridor, its high-resolution cameras captured crucial historical evidence along the perimeter wall. Resting at the base of the metallic bulkhead, partially embedded beneath fused silica and rock debris, were the corroded remains of legacy industrial drilling components. The rover's cameras identified flattened steel drill bits, melted heavy-duty copper wiring, and crushed high-voltage junction boxes dating precisely to the early 1960s. Secondary rover V identifies 1960s-era heavy drilling hardware. V equipment fused directly into vitrified sandstone. V confirms legacy. Attempt ended in catastrophic thermal event. Metallurgical examination of the recovered legacy drill fragments via the rover's articulated tool arm revealed severe structural deformation. The steel drill stems exhibited extreme spalling and localized thermal melting identical to the damage observed on modern equipment. This physical evidence proved that the early defense contractors had not built the titanium nickel portal. Instead, they had attempted to force entry into an pre-existing underground structure, an effort that resulted in a catastrophic power surge, localized rock fusion, and the immediate abandonment of the government project. While the secondary rover recorded these historical artifacts, spectrum analyzers in the control trailer detected a subtle, highly organized shift in the ongoing 1.6 GHz radio transmission. Rather than broadcasting continuous static or random noise, the signal transitioned into a repeating digital modulation scheme. The transmission consisted of a structured 96-bit binary loop delivered at exact 3-second intervals. plus 1.6 gigahertz transmission matrix. Signal, architecture, structured 96-bit binary modulation, plus interval, precise 3.0 second cadence, plus internal modulation, 6 standardized 16-bit subframes, plus field correlate, real-time synchronization with LiDAR sweeps, plus product plus signal processing algorithms analyze the incoming binary stream, revealing 6 distinct 16-bit subframes. Strikingly, the data rate and bit arrangement modulated in real time whenever the rover's LiDAR system swept its green laser across the surface of the bulkhead. The subterranean facility was not merely an inert obstacle. It was actively processing the optical and electromagnetic energy directed at it, broadcasting real-time diagnostic telemetry back into the atmosphere above Skinwalker Ranch. The discovery that the 96-bit digital transmission modulated in direct response to the rover's optical lasers marked a fundamental turning point in the investigation. Signal analysts inside the control module realized that attempting to bypass the metallic bulkhead using physical force, high-speed drills, or explosive cutting charges was inherently flawed. Every mechanical intrusion triggered an automated electromagnetic counter-discharge, neutralizing monitoring equipment, and reinforcing the localized energy shield. To gain entry without destroying the access channel, the scientific team needed to communicate with the system using its own operational language. Engineers configured a high-output software-defined radio array coupled with a directional microwave horn antenna aimed straight down the horizontal bore line. The objective was to intercept the incoming 1.6 GHz signal, compute its exact inverse, and rebroadcast a phase-cancel transmission directly into the vitrified chamber. By introducing an inverted waveform with a precise 180-degree phase angle shift, the team aimed to create active destructive interference, neutralizing the ambient static field and disarming the barrier's automated electrical response. Plus, Puey's Caution EM Experiment Matract Carrier Wave 1.6 GHz Narrowband Directional Transmission Modulation Scheme Inverted 96-bit phase-shifted binary stream plus phase offset exactly at 80 degrees active destructive interference plus Pranim measured result total dissipation of localized magnetic field plus the moment the software-defined radio initiated the phase-inverted broadcast, diagnostic monitors across the ranch registered an instantaneous environmental shift. The high-density magnetic field surrounding the metallic barrier, which had previously surged to over 2 Tesla, taps back down to the natural background level of 0.05 Tesla. Simultaneously, the broad-spectrum radio noise floor inside the tunnel cleared completely, leaving only the pristine phase-matched carrier signal flowing through the shaft. Inside the subterranean corridor, the extreme thermal drop instantly reversed. Ambient temperatures warmed from below, freezing back to 54 degrees Fahrenheit within 40 seconds, melting the frost layer along the vitrified sandstone walls. The low-frequency 19 Hz acoustic vibration that had thrummed through the Mesa substrate ceased, resulting in total acoustic and electromagnetic silence inside the access channel. Phase inverted surge collapses to 0.005 Tesla V, thermal shift, 14 Fahrenheit plus 54 Fahrenheit in 40 seconds ceased, V subterranean infrasonic vibration disarm shield. With the defensive energy shield disarmed, operators advanced the secondary rover to the seam of the dark portal. The rover deployed an array of acoustic transducers to apply targeted multi-frequency sound waves along the outer frame. Technicians swept through frequencies until reaching the precise resonant pitch of the titanium-nickel alloy matrix. As the acoustic drivers hit resonance, a heavy mechanical thud echoed through the stone structure. Internal locking mechanisms, actuated by shaped memory alloy rods buried deep within the frame, disengaged for the first time in decades. The central seam of the portal parted by half an inch, venting a soft pressurized cloud of inert non-reactive argon gas into the access tunnel. As the heavy metallic bulkhead slowly slid back into recessed wall slots within the sandstone, the rover's camera captured a pale, brilliant blue illumination emanating from the newly unsealed inner vault. Plus LED. Veil first. Observations. Ventilation. Signature. Inert argon gas, zero humidity, zero dust. Optical signature. Continuous pale blue luminescence. Plus internal atmosphere. Pressurized. Sterile subterranean cavity. Plus structural framing. Titanium nickel sliding track system. Plus Fafranamas. The rover rolled past the threshold of the open portal and entered a cavernous, circular room carved directly out of ancient basement rock far beneath the sedimentary sandstone layer. Measuring over 100 feet in diameter, the room featured smooth, polished basalt walls covered in continuous, intricate grid patterns. Running vertically from floor to ceiling were thick, crystalline silica channels that glowed with internal light, channeling energy through the subterranean architecture. At the absolute center of the circular chamber, suspended completely in midair without physical cables or structural pillars, floated a massive technological artifact that left the control room team speechless. Hovering 15 feet above a polished basalt floor at the center of the subterranean vault was a massive, seamless sphere approximately 12 feet in diameter. The object's exterior surface appeared dark and semi-translucent, constructed from a dense composite material that exhibited no visible joints, fasteners, or structural seams. Internal luminescence pulsed through the sphere's outer shell in a slow, rhythmic 3-second cadence, matching with mathematical precision the exact timing of the 1.6 GHz radio bursts recorded on the surface above Skinwalker Ranch. The rover's thermal imaging array logged an extraordinary thermodynamic profile surrounding the suspended sphere. While the ambient air inside the circular chamber remained stable at 54 degrees Fahrenheit, the surface temperature of the sphere registered at minus 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Despite this extreme cold, no frost or ice formed on the object's composite shell. The extreme cold appeared completely contained within a tight sub-inch boundary layer surrounding the sphere, creating a localized thermal sink that defied standard radiant heat transfer principles. Plus, trowel, artifact physical, promcell plus, dimensions and geometry, 12-foot diameter seamless composite sphere, spatial position, levitating 15 feet above basalt floor. Plus thermal boundary surface, 180 ambient chamber air, plus 54 Fahrenheit optical activity, rhythmic blue internal pulsing 3-sec cadence, plus laser rangefinders directed at the levitating artifact logged instant spatial beam deflection. Diagnostic sensors sending laser pulses toward the center of the sphere returned erratic distance measurements that fluctuated rapidly by dozens of feet, indicating that space-time immediately surrounding the object was experiencing localized gravitational or optical lensing. This optical distortion offered a direct physical explanation for the persistent GPS altitude errors and visual optical mirages documented by surface field teams over the years. Directly beneath the suspended sphere, embedded flush into the polished basalt floor, was a circular array of geometric conduits filled with a liquid-like, highly conductive metallic alloy. High-resolution cameras on the rover revealed that these floor conduits connected directly to the vertical crystalline silica channels running up the cavern walls. The entire chamber functioned as an integrated multi-dimensional energy circuit, drawing power from deep within the Earth and directing it upward through the Mesa toward the surface. Suspended central spare. V. Localized. Alloy floor conduits interconnect. V. Vertical silica wall channels transmit energy upward. Surface phenomena projected to the triangle. As the rover advanced closer to the central pedestal to collect closer visual telemetry of the floor conduits, the pulsing blue light inside the sphere suddenly intensified. The 96-bit binary signal broadcasting across the 1.6 GHz band ceased its standard loop and initiated a rapid data burst, transmitting thousands of lines of structured binary code per second. Multispectral sensors logged a sudden increase in the room's localized magnetic field, which began to rotate in a continuous, smooth vector around the central axis of the cavern. The liquid metal inside the floor conduits began to flow, circulating through the geometric channels in response to the changing magnetic flux. The subterranean facility was not a dormant relic or an abandoned ruin. It was an operational, self-sustaining technological node actively responding to human presence inside its primary control vault, plus system activation, plush, data transmission, high-speed binary stream, 10,000 plus bits/sec, plus magnetic dynamics, rotational vector shift around central axis, plus pranantide plus alloy conduits, active circulation of liquid metallic alloy, plus Pratentanaman, system status, operational subterranean power node, plus Famermandat, the discovery of the levitating composite sphere, the liquid metal circuit grid, and the active data stream provided conclusive physical proof that a highly sophisticated, energy-dense infrastructure was operating beneath the high desert floor. The investigation had moved far beyond speculation, uncovering a subterranean installation that linked directly to the aerial and electromagnetic anomalies that have defined Skinwalker Ranch for decades. With the primary vault unsealed and its central artifact documented, researchers faced the monumental task of determining who built this deep Earth network, how long it has been operating, and what its ultimate purpose is. The physical unsealing of the Mesa tunnel and the empirical documentation of its deep central vault mark a monumental turning point in the modern investigation of Skinwalker Ranch. For over half a century, public discussion surrounding this 512-acre parcel of Utah desert remained divided between indigenous tribal legends, eyewitness accounts of strange aerial lights, and speculative theories of high strangeness. Today, the application of multispectrum ground radar, cosmic ray muon tomography, metallurgical analysis, and phase-matched signal engineering has anchored the mystery firmly within the realm of verifiable physical science. The cumulative data and physical evidence retrieved throughout every stage of this subterranean discovery establish several concrete, verified facts: engineered subterranean architecture. The Mesa interior does not consist of natural limestone caves or water-eroded fissures. It houses a symmetrical deep earth facility featuring plasma-fused vitrified sandstone corridors, basement rock caverns, and a titanium-nickel shape memory alloy portal designed to withstand extreme kinetic and thermal stress. Active subterranean surface energy link, unexplained surface phenomena long documented across the triangle, such as localized magnetic spikes, GPS altitude deviations, severe battery drain, and persistent 1.6 GHz radio emissions are direct energy projections generated by the underground facility and routed through buried silica channels. Acoustic and electromagnetic control, automated defense shields, including localized 2 Tesla magnetic fields and freezing thermal drops, were successfully disarmed not by mechanical drilling, but through phase-canceled radio frequencies and sympathetic acoustic resonance. Historical covert involvement. Recovered drill steel and melted cabling confirm that defense contractors operating under Atomic Energy Commission oversight attempted to breach the same subterranean wall in 1962, triggering a thermal feedback discharge that forced the immediate closure of the government project. Despite these extraordinary material findings, major scientific questions remain unresolved. Researchers must carefully separate verified physical artifacts from broader speculative theories. While the physical existence of titanium-nickel alloys, a levitating composite sphere, and structured 96-bit binary transmissions is an established material fact, the ultimate origin, construction date, and overarching purpose of this deep Earth network remain open to rigorous scientific investigation. Plus, verified verse unresolved matrach. Fenferman, confirmed physical facts, unresolved scientific questions. Plus sandstone tunnel. Precise historical construction date. Plus Funfermanen. Plus titanium nickel alloy bulkhead. Identity and origin of the builders. Plus Funfermomen. Plus levitating composite sphere. Ultimate purpose of the network. Plus Funferman. Active 1.6 GHz binary emissions, extent of deep bedrock conduits, plus Funfermanen. Plus investigators have yet to establish whether this subterranean complex represents an ancient, non-human monitoring installation functioning on autonomous energy cycles, an exotic classified military defense system built deep within the lithosphere that escalated beyond human control, or part of a broader global planetary energy grid whose full scope extends far beyond the Uinta Basin. Furthermore, the deep vertical channels extending straight down beneath the central basalt pedestal, reaching into ancient basement rock where extreme lithospheric pressure should prevent open caverns, remain entirely unexplored. As multidisciplinary teams continue to analyze the recovered metallic alloy samples, translate the high-speed binary data streams, and map the deep silica wave guides, the Unsealed Mesa facility stands as an undeniable physical reality. The investigation at Skinwalker Ranch has permanently moved beyond folklore and urban legend, delivering clear material proof of an advanced, operational technological node functioning beneath the high desert floor. Unsealed Mesa, proof established, v data translation and deep conduit mapping ongoing, v what happens when full power is restored. The fundamental question facing modern science is no longer whether a hidden facility exists inside the Mesa, but who constructed this ancient energy grid and what will happen to Skinwalker Ranch when its full power architecture is completely brought back online. If you enjoyed this documentary, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below.